Alright everybody, there's movies I review because I really like them. There's movies I review because I think they're classics and deserve it. There's movies I review because people request them. And then there's movies I review that I really love. And this is one of them. Let's go. Okay everybody, today we're taking a look back at 1975's Race with the Devil, an all-time true classic, one of my all-time favorite grindhousey type flicks, perfect in each and every way. But before we go any further, as always, we are going to go to the trailer.
Two men on a dream vacation.
What the hell are they doing? I sure think they killed her. Back! Frank, they've seen us.
And get trapped in an unbelievable nightmare.
Turn off the light! Why? What's wrong? What are you guys up to? What?
20th Century Fox presents Race the Devil.
We saw somebody murdered.
What?
Some sort of ritual across the river. A girl got stabbed. They're chasing us.
Starring Peter Fonda and Warren Oates. There was nowhere they could hide.
Alice, look what was stuck to the back window. It's some kind of message. Witchcraft.
Witches?
There was no one they could trust.
He killed my dog.
Well, did anybody hear anything? Didn't anybody see anything?
Go on with your trip. Have a good time. Leave this up to me.
There was nothing they could do.
They followed us all the way from Bandera. He's here right now watching us.
But run. And fight.
Shoot him, Frank!
And race with the devil.
There's somebody on top!
Frank has got to leave!
We gotta stay in here! Don't look!
Peter Fonda, Warren Oates, Loretta Swit, Lara Parker. Race with the Devil. When you race with the devil, you'd better be faster than hell.
Okay, this motion picture was directed by Jack Starrett. Now, Jack Starrett had a really interesting career. I mean, because he was in front of the camera and behind the camera. But we're going to get to what he directed first. He directed some great low-budget shit that was just amazing. He directed Cleopatra Jones. He did The Losers and House of Zodiac, The New Spartans, Hollywood Man, Walking Tall, The Final Chapter. He did TV shows like Starsky and Hutch. So he was behind the scenes directing some really cool shit. But he was also in front of the camera in a bunch of great stuff, especially like, you know, goofy biker flicks and shit for the day. He was in movies like The Boring Losers and Hell's Angels on Wheels and Angels from Hell. He was in The Rose and The River, and more than anything, you're going to remember him as being Galt from the original First Blood. I mean, where he played that prick sheriff guy, whatever the hell he... So well, it was amazing. So he had a great career behind the camera, in front of the camera, you name it, he did it. Boom. Let's keep moving. Okay, playing Roger is Peter Fonda. I'm not really a huge Peter Fonda fan, I gotta admit it. You know, it is what it is. But he was in several movies that I truly love, and I'll get to them in a minute. Now, of course, he starred in the great and legendary Easy Rider. But he was in a bunch of other flicks, too, man. He was in stuff like Ghost Rider and The Wild Angels and Escape from L.A., The Limey, which is a good forgotten one, Yuli's Gold, 310 to Yuma. He popped up in the Cannonball Run and 92 in the Shade. And for me, he will always be cool for being in two flicks. Dirty Mary, Crazy Larry, and Future World. Two things I truly enjoyed. Dirty Mary, Crazy Larry even more. But regardless, those three flicks, those two flicks, and this one, cement the guy in my little grindhouse pantheon. Anyway, let's keep going. Okay, playing Frank was Warren Oates. You all know I love Warren Oates. He was just in Blue Thunder, which I reviewed like 2 movies ago or some shit like that. I love Warren Oates. But obviously we gotta go through the career again and cover some of the stuff he did. He did great shit. He was in Badlands. He was in The Wild Bunch and Stripes and In the Heat of the Night, Major Dundee and Two-Lane Blacktop, The Thief Who Came to Dinner, Tom Sawyer, Dillinger, Dixie Dynamite, 1941, The Border, and a whole shitload of TV work too. So, I mean, he was on the big screen, the little screen, it didn't matter which screen, he was there. Warren Oates, one of those guys you just believed whatever he said as soon as he entered the screen, because he had that realism to him. Had to love him. Okay, playing Alice was Loretta Swit. Now, she had a movie career, yeah, you know what I mean? She was in Beer and SOB, which is like really cool, and Freebie and the Bean, but her career really was television, you know what I mean? She was a TV girl. She was in stuff like Love Boat and Hawaii Five-O, Mannix and Gunsmoke, and, man, I can't even remember, tons and tons of TV movies and shit like that. But she'll always really be Hot Lips Houlihan from MASH. Period. That's just the way it is. She's always going to be Hot Lips Houlihan. That's part of her legacy, the American culture, the American lexicon, Hot Lips Houlihan in MASH. Just the way it is, just the way it goes. That's her career. Bam, forget it. Let's keep going. Okay, playing Kelly was Lara Parker. Now, again, another person who's basically a TV personality, but she had a really good career. She was in stuff like Dark Shadows, and she was on Kung Fu and Medical Center and the $6 Million Man and Policewoman and the Rockford Files and Barnaby Jones and Remington Steele, the Highwaymen, Beretta, Manimal, the Incredible Hulk. She was on Alice. Does anyone remember Alice, for Christ's sakes? You know, Kiss My Grits and all that kind of stuff. That show was the shit. Anyway, she was on all those, had a long, lengthy career. God bless her, whatever. Let's keep going. Okay, playing Sheriff Taylor, you knew this is one of my true favorites of all time. R.G. Armstrong. I covered him before a little while ago when I was going over the car, but this guy's career is awesome. He's one of those dudes I just love to see pop up in movies, and he's been in 4 million tons of shit. So let's keep going. He was in stuff like Predator and Children of the Corn and Dick Tracy and Major Dundee, the Great White Hope, the McMasters, and White Lightning and Pat Garrett and Billy the Kid, White Line Fever, Stay Hungry, Heaven Can Wait, Lone Wolf McQuade, and he was even in another movie called, this is a totally forgotten movie, but he was in another movie called Steel with Lee Majors. You know, so I mean, look that shit up. He was in that. It was a fun little flick, is what it was. But R.G. Armstrong, like part of my royalty of the guys that I really dig in Hollywood. You know what I mean? Just massively cool career. Okay, everybody, I'm going to try to do this really short and really sweet, as always, so we can get to the summation, which is kind of like the fun part anyway. But here's the story and the way it goes. You got Roger, you got Frank. They're these two guys that they run this business. It's kind of like a motorcycle racing, dealership business, whatever. And you got Frank is the business guy, and Roger's the guy who does the racing on the bikes around the track, all that kind of happy horse shit. But they work together, they're partners, and they decide to go on vacation together. Skiing, as a matter of fact. So they grab their wives and the dog and a $36,000 mobile home, and they start heading north. Well, along the way, they find a place to go camping, off the beaten path. They don't want to see people, they don't want to be around people, they don't want to know people, they just want to be by themselves. So they go down these windy roads and cross a river and all this happy shit, and they find a spot. Later that night, they hear some noise off in the distance. So they sneak up and they start looking through binoculars. They see naked chicks dancing around. They're like, shit, how can this be any better than this? So they start watching until they find out they're all Satan worshipers, and they sacrifice the girl right in front of them. They hightail it back to the RV, but now everybody knows that they're there, and they give chase. And they chase them. I'm going to tell you they get away because, goddamn it, you're going to figure that out or the movie would be over, wouldn't it? So, doesn't matter. They go get the sheriff. They bring the sheriff back. The sheriff goes, no, I don't know if you guys saw what you think. He says, oh, look, there's a dead dog. Probably nothing. You guys are crazy. Frank, Raj, the wives, they realize something isn't right. Nobody's taking this seriously. Nobody's really listening to them. They know they've seen what they've seen, and they know what they saw. So, through the movie, they kind of leave. And everywhere they go, they keep having run-ins with more Satan worshipers. This town, this place, that place. And then it culminates in them running for their lives from the devil, who are all the Satan worshipers, chasing them, and all that kind of happy horse shit. You get the idea. That's the whole thing. Damn, did that make 90 seconds? I don't know. Okay, I'm going to tell you why I absolutely love this motion picture. Beyond the fact that the acting is all spot on, we can get past that. Beyond the fact that the directing is deadly spot on, it's actually beautiful to look at in a lot of ways and everything like that. You know, that's a given. And that the action is shot and done so well, it's just perfectly spot on. The thing that works with this motion picture is you've got 3 movies rolled into one. You got a horror movie with the Satan worshippers and all that kind of shit. You got a chase movie and all that, or cars and bashing and vehicles flipping and all that kind of shit. But more importantly, you got the paranoia feeling. And that's the part of the movie that I think gets overlooked and forgotten about. This motion picture really, yes, it is Invasion of the Body Snatchers. That's what I always think of when I think of Race with the Devil. Because sure, you got the car chases and all that shit, and sure, you got the, you know, the horror or whatever kind of aspect to it. But what this motion picture really has is a paranoia, because wherever these people go, they feel out of place, and they feel like they're being watched, and they feel like they're being hunted, and they're feeling like they're being stared at and stalked, and to the point where they don't know who's good and who's bad, and who's right and who's wrong, and who they can trust, and who's a real person, and who's a part of this crazed cult trying to get them. So the real underlying vibe of this motion picture that makes it work on such an incredible level is just that. Sure, it's not the Night of the Dead vibe to it, which you sometimes get when the zombies are breaking through the bus windows. It's not the car chase vibe, which we've seen in a million fucking other movies. It's the Invasion of the Body Snatchers vibe that is pure through this movie, runs through this movie, and builds a paranoia and an uneasiness to this movie that really just takes it up from this level to that level and makes it so enjoyable. So, no matter what you do, no matter how you do it, no matter when you get a hold of it or not, you have to check out Race with the Devil. It was a truly classic movie that I don't think it's really looked back enough upon. It doesn't get reflected enough upon. You know, sometimes people talk movies of that era, and you know, like Dirty Harry and The French Connection and The Godfather, and obviously all great motion pictures and all that kind of stuff. But Race with the Devil, for the kind of movie it was done well, was done right, and put everything that a grindhouse flick should have into it, whether it's boobs, whether it's cars, whether it's chases, whether it's horror, and whether it's suspense. It's all mashed into one thing and done on such a level that you have to enjoy it. Okay, everybody, that is about it. Go out, have a good time, love one another, take care of one another, watch some good shit, leave a comment below. Peace out, see you later, be good, bye.